Hello, hello. How is everybody? I hope you have had a really happy, calm Christmas. A bit quieter than usual, I'm sure. But I hope it was good nonetheless. And I thought I would come on here today and have just some cosy post-Christmas chats, catch up on a few things, give everyone the opportunity to say hi to each other and just catch up a bit. And share a few little well-being hints and tips as well for the few days ahead, as well as the coming year. My goodness, about to step into a new year soon, aren't we? So let me get our friends on Facebook. Hopefully this will work. Of course, I've got the usual battle of the Wi-Fi. Morning, Justine. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Judith. Hi, Paula. Now, hello to Facebook. Now, it does say that I may not be the right way round. Might be having this issue again. Have I gone all a bit skew whiff? Let me know, okay? Let me know. And I've got my lovely Lainey on Facebook today. She is manning it for me, doing the messages. Hello, Karen. Hello, Amanda. Hello. Am I the right way round? Please let me know. Lainey, you can let me know on my little document here. I've got lots of comments and questions, so we're going to get through a few of these. And I just thought I'd kind of catch up with you, everybody, really, and see how everybody was doing. Are we the right way round? I'm going to assume that I am, unless I hear otherwise. So, how was your Christmas? Mine was different. I felt very fortunate because I have all my children home. So actually one has just left, he's gone back to Kenya, he left yesterday. Oh my goodness, it's amazing, isn't it, travel, when we're all allowed to do it. You know, he left here at crack of dawn and it was grey and drizzly, it was still dark, and flew all day, it's an all-day flight. Got back to his flat in Nairobi where he lives, and then got up first thing this morning, flew down to the coast, and I was looking at his pictures on I am the wrong way. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll switch it round. I don't know why it does this, but there we are. Anyway, and he's now sitting on a flipping beach in the sunshine. Can you believe it? Is that better? I do apologise. I don't know why. Sometimes it does it the right way. Sometimes it doesn't do it at all. But there we go. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Deb. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Jeff. Nice to have you with me. Anyhow, so I thought what I would do is, first of all, just say that there's a little bit of a Christmas special going on at Earle Wellbeing because all the e-guides are half price. Yes, for the next week or so. Isn't that fab? So we thought, well, what could we do that would be nice to share something? And, you know, we can't rely on the post at the moment because of all the bank holidays and everything being, you know, a bit up the creek anyway, with different tier systems and some of the posts taking forever to arrive. It's really weird. Sometimes you get things like that, it just slips through, and then other things can take weeks and weeks. So we thought, I know, we will do digital, we'll do downloads, because then you can have them in an instant. So that's what we've done. So all the e-guides, so things like, for example, this is a good one for the new year, a flatter, happier tum. I printed this out just so that you can see. And this is all about digestive health. So if you've got issues with bloating, you want to know about probiotics, prebiotics, you want to give yourself a bit of a gut-friendly boost for the year ahead, then this is definitely your one to read. There's also this one, which is Stay Well, Stay Energized. And this is all about the immune system. It's absolutely fascinating. Honestly, if you haven't read this, I really seriously suggest you read it, because I think we all need, obviously, to know about our immune systems at the moment. And it is just, you know, here, look, 7 secrets to staying well and boosting energy. It is brilliant. My chief health and beauty writer, Ellie, helped put this together, and it talks about all the immune system functions, so all the things that we hear in the news at the moment, things like T cells and cytokine storms and all of this, it's all in here. So it's highly relevant to COVID, but it's also highly relevant to just keeping us well. You know, our immune system is the thing that keeps us going, so it's all about how to help support it, talking about high strength vitamin C and lots of other strategies that we can do. There's also the e-guide to a stronger, slimmer you, which is my lovely exercises with Michael Gary, which I was doing this morning. And there's also, of course, 2 on the menopause. There's a healthy menopause, and then there's the truth about HRT. So lots to read, and they're all half price. That's over on Earle Wellbeing. So there we are. Has everybody got a cup of coffee? You're sitting nicely, or a cup of, sitting not nicely, sitting comfortably, a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Oh gosh, I need this. It's just been a crazy few days. I mean, it's just, for me, it's all about just eating far too much, sitting around, watching Christmas movies. We had some really good ones. Actually, did anybody watch Eddie the Eagle last night? Oh my goodness. I think, was it on Channel 4? And I'd seen it before, but I don't think my kids had seen it. And it is such a heartwarming movie. I absolutely loved it. And I forgot the actor who's playing it also played Elton John in Rocket Man. Absolutely brilliant. And in fact, Brella said that when she was at school, the real Eddie the Eagle came to give them a talk. And it was kind of, I don't know, all about, you know, how you can overcome things. And, you know, because he was born, he had issues, I think, with his knees when he was a child. And it was just his absolute dream to be in the Olympics, and everybody laughed at him. And then, of course, he ended up doing it. And he gave a talk to them at school, and he said that actually the film was very true to life. There was a few, of course, little bits of dramatic license, but it was pretty much, you know, as it was. And it's a really, really good film. Hugh Jackman is in it, and Christopher Walken makes a brief appearance, who I love. And yeah, honestly, if you didn't see it, then maybe you can watch it on catch up, because it's just one of those great feel good movies. It's a bit like the one about the Jamaican bobsleigh team. You know, when people just think these guys are never going to do it, and then of course they do it, and it's great. But honestly, the filming, I have struggle with heights. That's a genetic thing, by the way. You can either do heights or you can't do heights. So you can't kind of learn to do heights. It's in your genes, and I can't do them. So I even on a high bridge or something like that, or those awful glass lifts that sometimes you go up in the side of buildings. Terrible, absolutely awful. Anyway, so they were filming it right at the top of this ski slope jump, and just going down it. And honestly, my lovely friend Anthea Turner, I don't know if you ever saw that, but she did that TV programme called The Jump, where she did a ski jump. I mean, just terrifying. There's no way that I could do that. So I think, you know, I'm reasonably brave and calm, but there are just certain things that would set me off, and heights would be one of them. Hello, lovely to see everybody chatting. So nice to have you with me. So things that I'm going to be doing over the next few days to try and make up for a little bit of the overeating, which has gone on in this household. I am not going to lie. It's the one day, isn't it? Or the 2 days, or the 3 days. And of course, then you get all the stuff left over. Oh my goodness, what to do with that? I was making turkey curry till like 11 o'clock last night, putting it in the freezer. Thank you very much for all your hints and tips, by the way. Those of you watching on Facebook, if you pop over onto my Instagram, I did a little turkey dish yesterday, which I was making for the kids for lunch, which was using up turkey to make a turkey wrap or a turkey pita bread pocket, with lots of shredded lettuce, and making a really simple dressing made with live yogurt, plain live yogurt, so really good for our gut health, with some mango chutney and some seasoning, and you just stir it all up with your pieces of leftover turkey. Or you could use, you could make a chicken wrap or use it with ham or anything really. And anyway, so I posted that, and there's a video up on YouTube as well showing me actually making it if you want to see the demo. And then I just said, any other ideas? Because I've got all this flipping turkey, because I was supposed to have my parents here, and of course that all changed. So we've now got lots of leftover food, as I imagine so many of us have. And fantastic ideas. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Really things that I'd never thought of doing. So I've still got a bit more turkey to go. So I thought I'd do probably the turkey risotto. And then there was a pasta dish, an Italian pasta dish, which just sounds amazing, which I'm going to look up. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. And then the other thing that I posted on YouTube, I think it's just gone live if you want to have a look at it a bit later, is if you have got lots of this left. This is all I've got left, actually, because we did make a very good go at eating most of it. This was our Christmas pudding. This is the Wellbeing Christmas pudding recipe, which actually is so delicious. I'm going to have another little pick at it, sorry. It's really moist. It's a really good one. I don't know if any of you made it, but it's really good. Anyhow, so if you've got some Christmas pudding left, a really simple thing is to make a strudel. And it's just, there are lots of things that you can do with leftover Christmas pudding. One of the other favourite things of mine is to mix it with vanilla ice cream. stir it up. So melt the vanilla ice cream, just very slightly soften it. Stir in lots of Christmas pudding. You can add a little slug of brandy maybe if it's just for you and not for the kids. And then refreeze it. And that actually makes a really nice, tasty, interesting dish. But the strudel is something a little bit different. So what you do is you get sheets of phyllo pastry. You can buy them in shops, really easy. You can get them frozen. Or you might already have some maybe in the freezer. Just take them out, just defrost them, lay them flat. Brush them with a little bit of coconut oil. I like coconut oil because it makes it taste a bit different. Otherwise, it just tastes a bit more of Christmas pudding, but you can just brush them with butter or with, whatever you like, a little bit of olive oil maybe. So do that in layers, 5 sheets, and then you spread a thin layer of marmalade to get that lovely citrusy flavour. Or you could use something like plum jam or apricot jam, but I like the marmalade. And then you lay out your Christmas pudding, crumble that over the top, and then you roll it up. And you bake it, and then you slice it down. And I've just put a little video up on YouTube, and honestly, it takes minutes, and it tastes so delicious. And we've already eaten some, but the rest of it I've just wrapped up and popped in the freezer. So I don't know, we might have it at Easter time or sometime when you think, do you know what, I just fancy a bit of Christmas pudding. So anyway, it is a good one. So we've been eating up lots of leftovers and obviously, having to get to the bottom of the box of celebrations and all the other things that, it's just kind of Christmas, isn't it? Even though I don't really like them, it's just, I don't know, they're just there, and because they're there, we eat them. Terrible. Anyhow. So I am going to be back on this stuff, the Amino Slim. I did have a bit of a break because I thought, actually, do you know what's the point? I'm just so eating lots of rubbish. I may as well just forget the supplements for a bit. But I am going back onto this. I did take it this morning, and it's been really interesting reading your comments about it. And as Zana Morris said, if you want to ask her questions about it, because she's the expert, Amino Slim is quite a tricky supplement in that you've got to take it the right way, because it works on dislodging fat around the midriff, around the middle, that is laid down with insulin. And she explains it really well. You've probably heard her talk about it before. I've made a podcast with her. It was on the Friday 5, I think the podcast before last, talking about how it works. And it really does help to whittle away the waistline while we sleep, which is quite an interesting claim. And I know there have been some amazing comments about it. There was one lady who commented saying that she'd lost 10 centimetres from around the middle. But you do have to take it in the right way. It's got to be on an empty stomach. So you can't have eaten for about 2.5 hours before bed. Okay? So that means eating quite early in the evening. And then it works with the release of growth hormone, which happens while we sleep, which is why it works overnight. If you don't want to take it overnight, I tend to eat quite late, so that is no good for me. So Zana says that you can then take it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, because the idea is that there's nothing else in your stomach, which is why it's got to be for 2.5 hours after you've eaten. However, then of course you don't have the release of growth hormone because you're not asleep, you've woken up. So what you then have to do is a little bit of high intensity exercise to get that growth hormone releasing. So literally all I did this morning was I took 5 of these first thing when I woke up, and then I did 50 squats and 50 push-ups in my bathroom. Took me about 3 minutes in total. And that was enough, and I could feel that my body was, I'd done something, I'd exerted myself, and I'm hoping, I don't know if Zana's watching, or maybe she can let me know later, if that's enough to release this growth hormone and get that activity going. But I thought, you know what, I'm just going to jump back in and do something. The other thing that I did this morning is I put a teaspoon of creatine in my coffee. So this is the powder that doesn't taste of anything, so you can use it in your tea and coffee. And that is to help with muscle mass. So we know that the more muscle we have, the faster our metabolism works and the stronger we feel. And unfortunately, as we age, especially women, as we age, we lose muscle mass. So this is a really simple biohack of a way of helping to encourage more muscle mass. And we've written about that online and also in the magazine, writing about creatine, because there are some very interesting studies out there. So don't forget that you do get, I think it's 15% off all the strong nutrients with Liz Loves, with your code. Something actually that I gave my middle son for Christmas, because he is 18. And I guess like a lot of 18-year-old lads, he's really into bodybuilding and, I mean, not trying to bulk up and be all muscly, but just, trying to be strong and fit and, do his push-ups and his chin-ups and all of that at home. And I'm really keen that he doesn't go down that route of having all the bulking powders and all these things that you see in these huge, great big plastic tubs that really aren't great, especially if you're younger and you're developing and you're growing. But he wants to have something. So I've actually I gave him this for Christmas as part of his Christmas present. And again, it's from Zana. It's the Strong Nutrients. I don't know if you can see. It's unsweetened vanilla protein. So this is one that she has formulated. And I do trust her, and with all her decades of experience as a personal trainer. And it's just really simple. It's just got 3 ingredients. So it's got calcium caseinate, trimagnesium citrate, and natural vanilla flavouring, and that's it. So, it isn't got lots of all these extra things, and it just says it's highly absorbed protein, natural nourishment for sustainable energy, supports muscle tone and fat loss. Might give this a go myself. Contributes to healthy skin, hair and nails. Excellent. There you go. A unique source of calcium and protein. Fast results with slow protein. There we go. So I think I might chat to Zana about this, because I think this is quite an interesting idea. And I do like shakes. I sometimes have a shake first thing in the morning. I thought maybe I'd do some little videos where I film the different things that go in. Certainly on school days, I give my youngest a shake in the morning because I just pile everything into it. And then I know that, I've set him off on his way, and that no matter what he has for, school dinners or whatever, then at least he's got that baseline bit of energy going. So, yeah, I think shakes can be a good thing. I don't necessarily like them as meal replacements, because I think we should be eating proper food, but I think as supplementary ways to get in, particularly if you're somebody who struggles with eating, maybe somebody who's older, the elderly need to get good levels of nutrition in, or you just want to make sure that you're ticking all those boxes. By the way, ticking all the boxes, this is something that we put into the newsletter on Friday. This is Newson Health, one of their supplements that I also really like. Took mine this morning. I hope everybody has had their fish oil and their vitamin D. Really important. Fish oil, of course, gives us the omega-3s, so that's your EPA and your DHA. DHA, especially important for our brains. And this one I particularly like because it does give you your vitamin D in it. Okay, it's got 200% of your daily allowance of vitamin D, and as we know, we need to be upping our vitamin D, particularly in the winter months. Also, it's shown to be really helpful for supporting our immune system. People with high levels of vitamin D are responding better if they have adverse reactions to serious illnesses, particularly protective in terms of COVID. Those who've got high levels of vitamin D seem to make better recoveries. So lots of reasons why we need to be keeping our vitamin D up at the moment. And it also contains vitamin E. So you've got 4 things in here: DHA, EPA, vitamin D3 and vitamin E. And all you do is take 1 capsule. So it's really easy. Just one of those, and it's just a bit of baseline protection. I really like it. I've tried lots, as you've known, over the year, and this is the one that I come back to and personally take every day. We do have a Liz Loves 10% off. So you go to Emma Ellis Flint's website, and I think, Lainey, you'll probably pop a link, won't you, my love, on Facebook. There is a link on Instagram on Linktree. So Emma Ellis Flint's website, you can find her on Instagram. She's a great nutritionist, and she has the Newson Health range, which was developed with Dr. Louise Newson. So we know that it's good, particularly for midlife women, because that's who it is targeted at. So that's what I had this morning. I thought that I would share a couple of my Christmas presents. I seem to be very bright on Facebook. Hopefully, I know I'm sitting in front of a light, but hopefully I'm not too bright. Otherwise it just looks a bit weird. Let me tap it. That's better, I think. Is that good? Hope it is. Yeah, I'm getting some thumbs up. Thank you. So these are some of my Christmas presents, which I thought I would share. So one of the ones that was just so heartfelt was from my middle boy, Kit. And the last week or so, he's been going off and doing a little secret project. And he's doing design and technology at school. And he has been investigating different ways to work with lathes and wood. Anyway, I wasn't really too sure what he was doing, but I just knew that he was up to something. And anyway, on Christmas Day, I unwrapped this. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? And he made it. And it's my Christmas present. And honestly, it is, I was so touched. I nearly cried, I have to say. The base wood is acacia, and we get acacia in Africa. We get in Kenya, in our garden in Kenya, we have a lot of acacia trees, yellow fever trees, they're sometimes known as. And I think this one, I think he said it was apple, but I'll need to double check that. Anyway, he turned all of it by hand, and then he waxed it. So it's just hand waxed. Isn't that just amazing? So I said to him, Kit, that is going to stay in my bedroom forever. So I just love it. And my kids obviously know me really well, so they know that I do like candles. I've got a bit of a thing about candles, whether they're just, tall, elegant candles or scented candles. I just think that dim lighting candles really create a lovely atmosphere. Never leave them unattended, obviously, but, when you're in the room with candles, great. So my eldest boy went to our local antique shop. Well, it's not really an antique shop. Well, it is an antique shop, but it's kind of a treasure trove. It's like, can't call it a junk shop because it's not junk, but it's not one of those really super smart antique shops. It's just like a vintage, you find all sorts of things. He bought a load of second-hand cutlery, for example, to take back to Kenya, just old silver-plated cutlery, which looks really nice and is so inexpensive compared to modern cutlery, which is, really pricey. Anyway, he found these for me. Aren't they lovely? So they are, I think they might be silver plate. Sadly not solid silver, but they're just great. And I just thought those are going to look so nice with a pair of candles in them on my dining table. So really, really thrilled to get those. In fact, one year we had a rule that everything that was going to be given between us either had to be second-hand, so got from a vintage shop or a charity shop, or homemade. So they've obviously taken on board a lot of that already. And in fact, Kit, he bought everybody, he either made presents or he got them from second-hand shops. And he found the most amazing things. He bought his younger brother this little suede bomber jacket that he found in some charity shop. And honestly, he looks so cool in it. I think fly is the word that came out. You look mighty fly, whatever that means. Anyway, I think it's a good thing. And honestly, he hasn't taken it off. If he could sleep in this jacket, he would. And he looks so good in it. And he was so chuffed. He was so chuffed that his older brother went and found him something. And I just love that. It's just repurposing, isn't it? It's reusing, recycling. Did anybody listen to my Boxing Day podcast with Livia Firth? So she is a really good friend of mine. And she obviously is known for the Green Carpet Challenge. She started that because she, when she was married to Colin, used to go to, the Oscars and be on the red carpet and do the red carpet challenge. And everybody would ask her what she was wearing. And she's really into sustainable fashion. And she just thought, this is ridiculous. I don't want to be part of this sort of mass consumerism. And so she started the Green Carpet Challenge. And everybody now takes part. A lot of people take part. And they wear dresses that are sustainable, or they're recycled, or they're vintage. Anyway, she's got this great eco consultancy called Eco Age, and she works with a lot of brands talking about sustainable fashion in particular. Fashion's her thing. And so we recorded a podcast together talking about ways to be a bit more sustainable and to be a bit less consumerist. And I know it's something that Lily, Umbrella to a certain extent, take on, definitely. I mean, Lily, virtually everything that you see her wear comes from second-hand shop. Or vintage shop, I think, for my generation, it's like, second-hand charity shop. But, these days, it's the cool place to go, isn't it? Oh, it's vintage. Even if it's just like 1970s or 1980s, it's retro, it's vintage, it's cool. And she says, really, you got to aim for the 30 wears rule. If you want to buy something, you pick it up and you look at it and you say, am I going to wear this at least 30 times? 30 times or more. And that way it's kind of investment dressing, so you're buying less but better, and you're really considering it, so it's not this fast fashion, this fast throwaway disposable fashion, particularly when things are made of man-made synthetic fibres, they're made of nylons that don't decompose. And I read a horrifying statistic that every time you wash nylon clothes in a washing machine, you're releasing little fibres and plastic particles back into the aquatic system. And so, even just the very act of washing man-made synthetic fibres. So we should be going back to, cotton, but of course there's issues with water, so organic cotton is probably the best. There are some very interesting recycled fabrics, Cupro, and we're working on a whole piece actually online about that, talking about different sustainable fabrics. Things like wool obviously is good because it's regenerative, it's a renewable resource. So yeah, very, very interesting, that whole thing. Anyway, do take a listen if you haven't heard it already. I hope that you would enjoy it. And talking about fabrics, this actually was my Christmas present from my parents. And my parents, one of their many nicknames for me is Bird. So I get called Bird a lot. And look, they gave me this with little birds on. Isn't that cute? So, and also a little pot, which my mother had found in a charity shop. So a little pill pot, perhaps, when I'm travelling. So that was something. Also, where I've got two other things. Where did I put them? Oh, they're here. My goodness. So this is something local. That there was a local art exhibition of craftsmen and artists, and I was with Brella and she spotted these, which she then went back and bought without me realising. And first is this beautiful thing. So it's a rather lovely tactile ceramic. I guess it could be a bud vase, I think you could probably put a bud in there, but I rather like it on its own. I thought it was actually a fig, but I think she said it had been moulded from a sweet potato. So I don't know how they do that. It's so clever, isn't it? So it's like cast from a sweet potato and then they use natural dyes. Anyway, I just thought it was rather lovely, rather lovely object. So I'm going to have that sitting perhaps on my table, perhaps next to my candlesticks. And the other thing that she spotted, and this is really cute, this is this little, I think I'm going to use it as maybe a little salt or pepper dish. And they cast them from halves of lemons. So that's actually half a lemon. Can you see? And then it's just been glazed. It's just so pretty and so simple. Just such a lovely natural idea. Some of the best shapes are in nature, don't you think? Talking about nature, my ex-husband gave me two pairs of secateurs because he knows that I love my flower arranging. So I got these, first of all, which I rather love. These are these little snippy ones, like that. I think I'm going to write my name on them so they don't get inadvertently tidied up into somebody else's possessions. And then these I'd been admiring. I'd had my eye on a pair of these for ages. This is a British brand called Felco. And actually it says on it Swiss made. I thought they were British. No, maybe they're Swiss. I guess like a Swiss Army knife because they're red-handled. Anyhow, they are really super sharp, super strong secateurs for pruning, or if you are cutting woody stems, which I often do at this time of year to bring into the house for flower arranging. Anyway, I got those two, so I was really pleased with those. And then my lovely son-in-law, Harry, made me more homemade stuff. Made me this, and this is, put a little label around the neck, it says, to Liz, Merry Christmas, 2020 damson gin made from farm damsons. Yeah, so he'd been out earlier this year raiding the damson tree and then made damson gin. Isn't that great? And actually online on the Earle Wellbeing website, you'll see we've got lots of recipes and ideas for making pomegranate gin and cocktails, and there's a blackberry gin cocktail recipe, I think. Really, really nice things. So if you're thinking about something maybe for New Year's Eve, a little bit different, do head over there and take a look. Oh, thank you, Lainey. You're popping a link up. Thank you. So then I wanted to share with you what Lily gave me. So Lily and I follow this great artist on Instagram called Zeppelin Moon. She's written a great book. And Lily gave me several of her things for Christmas, including her calendar, which I'm looking forward to filling in. It's got really fun things. And then she gave me one of her pictures, which I want to show you. It's a little bit rude, so I just have to... Oh, hang on, why has that not come out? This might come out if you look at it. Okay, so I wanted to show it to you, because I'm going to hang this next to my wardrobe. Okay, so if you know Zeppelin Moon, then you might recognise the picture. And of course, the wording has come out backwards because that's the way it works when you do these lives. So I photographed it just before I came on my iPad. It is a rude one, so there's a warning. But can you see what it says? I don't know if you can see it here with my light that's reflected. Oops. Anyhow. There we go. There we are. That's what it says. So I hope you can read that. Lots of hearts coming on Instagram. Yep. So there we are. And for those who didn't get to read it, I guess I ought to read it out loud. It says, the forecast says cloudy with a chance of dickheads. So Emu put on her dick-proof jacket, kept calm, and carried on. Love it. That is a motto for life, isn't it? Keep calm and carry on, no matter who you have around you. Yes. Another lovely present I got from my niece Lainey. This is the Weindein Dictionary. Love this. Great book. If you're into your wine, maybe you got the Earle Wellbeing wine box. They're shipping now. They stopped because they couldn't cope with all the demand. They had to stop over Christmas. But they, lots of laughter going on Instagram. They have now restarted. So if you want to go, Lainey, perhaps you can pop a link up to the Earle Wellbeing wine box. So that is 12 bottles assorted. There's 3 bottles of organic Prosecco. All the wine's organic, biodynamic varieties. You've got vegan varieties. There's that amazing Chianti that is made by Sting and Trudy Styler that we've got from Tuscany. That's in there. So we had that on Christmas Day. Love it. And then there's also a really nice pudding wine. And there's, some rosés, some reds, some whites. It's really good. Anyway, they are now shipping again. We've worked with Vintage Roots, the organic wine people. So obviously Lainey knew about that. So she's brought me this, the Weindein Dictionary. Really love it. And it's got all sorts of ideas of whatever you're eating. It tells you what you should have with it. So for example, I've just opened the page here on mushroom risotto. And it says, you want to go with something to match the heartiness of the risotto. So maybe something white from a Chardonnay, which is quite full-bodied, to a claret. So don't put it with a light French Pinot. Give it something a bit heavier. What else have we got in here? Mince pies. Yes, what to serve with a mince pie. It suits, it says, the molten raisin flavour of a sweet Oloroso or cream sherry. It somehow works with dry sherry too, though pick one that's robust, an Amontillado or a punchy Fino, rather than a Manzilla. Mince pies are also gorgeous with the sweet floral Moscato di Pantarellia. Don't know about that one. Made on the island of Pantarellia, a speck of Italy that lies between Sicily and Tunisia. Great. What a nice book for somebody who's into their wines, and very different, different from just talking about the different wines, but it does also have all the different grape varieties. So if you want to look up the grape varieties at the back, it's got those. Thank you very much. I look forward to having that in my kitchen as part of my repertoire. Right, before I go, I want to answer some questions. My goodness, is it that time already? I don't know, where does the time go? This is a nice comment. This is from YouTube, from Charlotte, who says, oh my goodness, I'm sitting in Australia and I am missing home, so thought I would see if you'd posted anything new. And yes, you have. What a talented family you have, your nephew and his friend. Well, the music all super, and that was on YouTube. If you haven't yet seen it and fancy something a little bit Christmassy, a little bit festive, do head over to the Earle Wellbeing channel, because we couldn't do our Christmas Carol concert for my charity this year, Live Twice. So my brother and his amazingly talented musical family recorded some things at home. And he, as you know, is an organist at Canterbury Cathedral. Well, you may or may not know that, but that's what he is. And so he recorded the Canterbury singers singing some carols, and he put the words up so we can sing together. And then his wife, Victoria, is an amazing soprano, and she recorded this beautiful solo just in her sitting room with the dog. It's great, isn't it? Those of you who've seen it. And then my nephew, Matthew, so his eldest boy, is part of this band called South by Zero, and they just went down to the beach and they recorded Jingle Bell Rock. And it's just a really nice musical selection. So yeah, play it and share it. And I'm so delighted that you enjoyed it in Australia. Wow, that is really, he's going to love that. Nikki says that she got a yogurt maker for Christmas. This was a comment on Instagram. Family said it was the only Liz Love's recommended present left that they could get me, as I'd already sneaked in and bought most of the other things. So yogurt from now on will be my own, finally. I hope you enjoy that, Nikki. And I think I replied to your comment to say that if you go to Freshly Fermented and get their Bulgarian yogurt starter culture, that is just really good. It's creamy and delicious, and some of the best yogurt. We actually do have the gut health box still going. So if you want your 6 fabulous ferments that you can make yourself, there's a link in my bio on Instagram or on the Earle Wellbeing website, or Lainey, perhaps you'll pop it up, honey, on Facebook. Oh, thank you, Carol. Thank you. Enjoying today's chat, saying you're loving the stories. Linda also, what a lovely relaxing watch after all the madness which has become our world. Yeah, switch off the news, please. Switch it off, okay? Off. You do not need to know it. You can just tune in once a day, maybe, 5 o'clock or whatever. That's it. A few headlines. It's all negative. It's all doom and gloom. There's lots of positive stuff out there, and it breaks my heart that we're not hearing that positive stuff. I don't know if you listened to my Friday 5 last week. I tried just to bring in some of the positives and about the things that we can do that are good, and why we need to just stay cheerful and strong and calm anyway. I love this. This is from Mary on Facebook. Thank you for sharing this. You say, just wanted to say that my husband announced that the Christmas cake was the best one ever. High praise indeed. Thank you, Liz, for the fab handed down recipe. Absolutely delicious. I'm so pleased. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so delighted, because when I post my personal recipes that are family favourites, it's always, I'm thinking, well, are other people going to enjoy them too? And actually, it's a really good, if you just want a really good, rich fruit cake, it doesn't have to be at Christmas. You can make it if you're making a birthday cake or a celebration cake, or you just like fruit cake. Make it into a loaf, have it in slices. It freezes really well, so you can just pull out a couple of slices at a time from the freezer whenever you fancy a bit of fruit cake. It's so delicious. Tina on Facebook, hi, do we know where Liz's top is from, please? I'm sorry, Tina, it's an old one. It is Marks and Spencer's. I think it's their autograph range. I just like it because I like the sleeves. It's got that kind of, I guess you could make it yourself, couldn't you? You could buy something that had kind of full sleeves and just, trim off the end and hem it, and then put some coloured lining on the inside if you wanted to, if you're crafty, but creative with a needle and thread. It's the kind of thing that Lily would do. She's always buying stuff from, as I say, vintage shops, from the second-hand shops, and kind of repurposing them, upcycling. And it was lovely to see her actually over Christmas. Oh, something else that she gave me was she's making homemade scrunchies, hair ties, and she's making them extra soft because, as you know, she can't have anything really too tight or heavy on her head because of her chronic pain. So she's making everybody soft scrunchies and then just embroidering them with a few little stitched hearts. So nice. Love that. She's resting at the moment, so she's not with me at the moment. And as for the other one, Brella, I haven't seen her this morning. Well, it's afternoon now, so I don't know whether she's surfaced. Amazing, though. I'm going to have to get them to join me more often, because I think the last live I did last week, just before Christmas, we've had over 25,000 views, and that's just on Instagram. That's before you factor in, Facebook and YouTube. So clearly everybody likes it when I come on with my girls, so I'm going to have to get them back on more often, aren't they? Right. Which lippy are you wearing today? I am wearing the Beauty Pie. I'm actually wearing a cream blush on my lips. I've used it before in one of my makeup tutorials. It's a raspberry colour. It's meant to be a cheek colour, so I put it on my cheeks as well, and then I just put a bit on my lips just to stain it, and then I put some lanolin on top just to give that a little bit of a gloss, really. So I used the Dr. Lip. Don't know if we've still got our discount going. It'd be nice if we had it, wouldn't it? Because it was quite a good, generous discount. But you could try it if you want. Go to Dr. Lip. They've got their little lanolin lip glosses, which I absolutely love. Completely addicted to them. Put Liz Loves in. See if that works. Hopefully it might still work. Okay. Can men take the Amino Slim? Yeah, I don't see why not. It's not a hormone thing. It's an amino acid. So yeah, absolutely. Give it a go, but you do have to take it. Be careful how you take it, okay? You've got to take it on an empty stomach, either last thing at night, so you get that growth hormone going while we sleep, or before a short burst of high-intensity exercise, okay? So those are the two things. If you want to contact Zana Morris, so Zana is the founder of Strong Nutrients. She's a really great personal trainer. I love her. Very sensible, sound, solid woman. I hope to do some more with her in the new year as we maybe focus on a bit more fitness. But she's really good on Instagram, and you can message her and she'll reply. So she's Zana Morris, Zana Morris on Instagram. Any advice on scalp care, Liz? I've shaved my head in readiness for my treatment, and that's from Paula. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. You just need to keep it well moisturised. It's like the skin on our face, our scalp, but with something really simple. I tell you an ingredient that I've been using recently that I'm going to write about in my magazine, which I think is really interesting, and that is plant-based squalane. You heard of squalane? It is a really simple oil, plant oil, but it's very light, it's not sticky, it just moisturises, it's very pure, so it doesn't interfere with anything. So if you are having any, treatment, chemo, radiotherapy, anything like that can sensitise your skin, it is just very calming, and I love it. I've been using Lily's LED mask every night. Oh my goodness, I'm so addicted to that. And I just want something simple to use on my skin with it. I'm finding that I'm not actually needing to use really expensive skincare because the LED light is doing it all for me. So I've been using Squalane. So look that up. I will be writing about it and doing something a bit later in the new year on that. But for now, then I think Squalane could be something that could help you. Am I musical? Asks Angela on Insta. I'm not that musical. I wish I was. I'd love to be. My brother had all the genes and talent in that area. Absolutely. I've just tested positive for COVID. Any ideas for help with recovery? That's from Joyce. Yes, definitely. Do listen to my podcast last week, the Friday 5. I'd be interested to see what you're being given to help, because there are definitely some drugs that are being prescribed that can help. Also, high-strength vitamin D, high-strength vitamin C. You might like to listen to my podcast that I recorded with Dr. Levy. He's the American doctor who writes about vitamin C. Ultrient C, I would definitely suggest getting your liposomal Ultrient C. I think there's a Liz Loves code on that that's still active. Let me just check on here. Where are we? Ultrient C. That comes from Abundance and Health. It's not actually showing on here, but hopefully it is still active. If not, get yourself some liposomal vitamin C. Vitamin D, I was actually talking, one of the things that I was talking about on my podcast last week when I was talking about COVID and long COVID, is the really important issue of deep breathing, getting our lungs working because we need to protect our lung function. Head over to corefulness. So this is my lovely physio friend, Libby Caudle, and corefulness, C-O-R-E, corefulness. She's on Instagram and she has a website, but also on her YouTube. Look up corefulness on YouTube. She had COVID early on in the first wave, and she did a lot of exercises in her bedroom, which she filmed, which really helped speed recovery. So it's all about, mobilizing the thoracic area, breathing down into the diaphragm and helping to strengthen the lungs. Okay, so absolutely, please head for that. And estrogen, you don't say, whether you are on estrogen, but it's really interesting to look at these studies. And again, I podcasted with Dr. Louise Newson about this, and they are now doing serious, hopefully, some government-funded studies looking at women who are on HRT who seem to be much better protected in terms of recovery from COVID and also from long COVID because of the amount of estrogen in their system. And estrogen is not only so helpful for, bone strength and brain health and hot flushes and all of that, but it is a fundamental part of our immune system. So really do consider, if you're not already on estrogen, do consider talking to your GP about that. You can read a lot more. You can go to Menopause Doctor website. Hopefully you'll have some time to read up on all the things that can definitely be helpful. Hi, Dutchy Labrador on Instagram. So happy to be here with this great group. And you, Liz. Thank you. Oh, Jill says, I've been using the LED mask too. Absolutely love it. Oh, my goodness, isn't it amazing? And I tell you what else has been going on in this household is Lily has now got the one from South Korea, which looks like a cycle helmet, and you wear it on your head and it stimulates follicles for hair growth. And it's, just amazing. My boys were all fighting over it. So I had my ex sitting on the sofa with it last night, wearing it, saying, how long does it take for this to work? And I said, well, somebody else was trying it and they said that they started to see their hair regrowing after 3 weeks, using it every day for 3 weeks. So, typical man. It's like, I've had it on my head now for 10 minutes. Am I growing any new hair? It's like, no, you have to wait. But I think she's just going to do so well with it because it's, it's non-invasive, it's completely safe, and it really, really works. So I love it for my skin. I had some cheeky comment on, was it Instagram or Facebook? I can't remember. Anyway, I think it was from a man. It's one of those anonymous sort of random comments saying, why are you using all that filler in your cheeks? I promise you, I do not have any filler in my cheeks. I have actually got naturally quite plump, round cheeks. But I do think it's the LED mask, that and estrogen, actually. Of course, we know that estrogen is creating collagen and elastin, and I'm so full of estrogen. I definitely think, my skin is plumper and smoother because of that. I remember once, years and years ago, this must be, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago, and I was a junior reporter on This Morning, and I was sent over to America. It was part of the New York Fashion Week, or maybe it was when I was with GMTV. Anyway, it was one of those. And I interviewed Carolina Herrera, who's the American fashion designer, and she must have been, in her, probably her 60s then, I would think, maybe. And I said, she looked amazing. And I said, what are your secrets? And she said, well, you get to a certain age as a woman and you have to choose between your face or your backside. And I think, that is so true. We do need a little bit of fat on us, okay? You can get too thin in the face and, if you, start to lose it from all over, then, your face can start to look a bit too scrawny. So I don't think I'd ever be accused of looking too scrawny. I like my mince pies and my dark chocolate too much for that. But it's all about being, fit, strong, definitely into being strong, doing weight training, doing a little bit of running, not too much. Michael Gary actually says, don't go beyond the 5K. He said, don't do a marathon. Don't chase those long distances because then you start to use up your muscle, which is what you need. He said 5K is absolutely optimum. It gives you enough stamina. You've got your weight training, your load bearing exercise. You can speed up, so that's how you improve. That's, you get faster, you improve on your time. So that's how you monitor your progress. So that's your goal, is to beat your time every time you run, is to get faster, faster, faster. But don't do longer. So it's coming back to, I guess, this high intensity, short, high energy, getting our bones strengthened with weight training and resistance work, which is what we need, rather than spending hours and hours going for these long, lengthy runs. Anyway, maybe that's controversial. I don't know. Let me know. Okay, hi Liz. I'm going to have to go soon, okay? So I've got these questions coming in, so do feel free. If you've got stuff to do, just do and come back to it later if you want to. But I do have some questions up here. So Faye says on Facebook, hi Liz, do you have any recommendations for a body lotion? Yes, I do. I've got a new one. When I get out of the shower or bath, my skin itches all over to the point I end up taking a body brush and scrubbing all over to get relief. And I end up with very sore skin. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Faye. Couple of things before I come on to body lotion. There is a condition caused by low estrogen where you get really, really itchy skin. So all over, your skin can be maddeningly itchy. And that's because we have the estrogen receptors in our skin. And as we lose estrogen from a kind of early to mid 40s onwards, sometimes earlier, but that's the average, then you can find that your skin does get really, really itchy. So you don't say how old you are or whether you're on HRT, but replacing estrogen can be really helpful. Also, if your skin is itchy after a shower, it could be that you're being sensitized by the body wash that you're using. So make sure that you're using something that is free from sodium lauryl sulfate. That can cause itchiness and dryness. So you can use maybe a natural soap, might be less irritating than a perfume body wash. And then what I've been using recently is the Better You. So we did a promotion. I think it might still be valid, Liz loves. I know we're getting to the end of the year, so some of them are coming off. But do try Better You, because they've got great vitamin D sprays and also B vitamin sprays, which I really like. I was giving my youngest B vitamin B12 spray this morning from Better You. And they sent me some to try, and they've got magnesium body creams. There's one, I showed it about a week ago, I think. It comes in a tub, and it's like a body butter, and it's enriched with magnesium, and I really like it. It's shea butter and I think coconut, and it's just really calming. In fact, I used it on my skin this morning after my shower, so I hope that helps. If you need something that's really simple, then you could look for the Squalane again, which is just like a really simple plant oil. So I'm going to talk more about that another time because I think that's quite interesting. Linda on Facebook. Oh, Linda, where have you been? You says, where can I get my magazine, please? Haven't seen it in M&S for ages and missing it so much. Yes, we came out of retail. So back in the early lockdown, we had just put something like 50,000 copies into retail. And then, of course, the lockdown came and all the shops shut. Well, not all of them, but they certainly weren't prioritising selling magazines. So a lot of our magazines got pulped, and it just was not a sustainable, viable business that I could continue, because we as a business, we lost a huge amount of money. And we couldn't afford to take that risk again. And I'd actually been looking at the sustainability of printing magazines for retail anyway, because what they don't tell you when you buy magazines from retail is that the retailers make you overprint. So we were having to print 2 or 3 times as many magazines as we knew the retailers were selling. And that's right across the board. Marks and Spencer's. In fact, Marks and Spencer's, to be perfectly honest, was which meant that a lot of them then got pulped. And so I was already thinking it would just be great if we could just print the right number of magazines to send to subscribers directly, because everybody gets it. You don't have to go and look for it in the shops. We don't have to risk people, covering it up with other magazines, or, we'd go into shops and we'd do the shuffle, make sure that it was all looking nice on the shelves. You don't have to worry about that, and don't have to worry about all the waste and the transportation, putting them on lorries, wrapping them in plastic, putting them on the roads, all of this. So I'd already been thinking, as the brand founder, what can I do to make this business more sustainable? And then, of course, when COVID came along, it kind of made the decision for us. So we are now only, and you can get it easily. It'll get sent to you. Playing up now. I'm sorry. We've got, carried on with the magazine, Jane. Absolutely. So you just go to Earle Wellbeing. And in fact, if you go now, there's a special offer. Then you get a free, I think it's the Earle Spa Apothecary lip balm. And it's not a lip balm, it's a body balm. It's like a skin balm. It does lips and skin and everything. Lovely, lovely, lovely free gift. So there's just a few left. So rush now and it'll come to you. It'll be sent free in the post and packing free rather. You get 6 issues for the price of 5. So we send you a free one. So it's much cheaper than buying it from the shops. And you get your subscription gift. So absolutely, that's the only way to get it. And I'm thrilled that we've been able to carry on. So, some people say they haven't received theirs. It'll be with you any day now. It's brand new issue. I'll probably talk about it later in the week, maybe, because it's all about new year, new you, fresh start. So I think once we hit January the 1st, I'll show you the new magazine, and I hope you're enjoying it, those who have already got it. Am I on Friday? Yes, I think so, from memory. I think I am. Is that New Year's Day on Friday? It's glitching. I don't know why it's glitching. Maybe the kids think I should be finished because it's gone. Gosh, I've been chatting for an hour. Sorry. I'm about to go now. But yeah, I think the kids have probably come back on and started using the Wi-Fi. That's a question on Instagram from Dill. You can have phytoestrogens, but at least 25% of women don't absorb them. So, and it's very hard to know. The best way to get estrogen, frankly, is to take it, either in a tablet or a gel. The e-guide, if you want to know about estrogen, head to Earle Wellbeing this week. Okay, Instagram. I am going to go now because I'm just burbling. But do download the e-guide, The Truth About HRT. If you want to know about estrogen, please download. It's half price this week. Okay, so just sit and read all your way through it. And lots of links. It's a really, really good read. I am not on Friday, by the way. Sorry, Lainey's just reminded me. But I am on Wednesday, okay? I am on Wednesday. And I shall just finish with this last comment from Valis on Instagram. And you say, "You've all cheered me up no end. Such a wonderful community. Thank you." That's so nice. So, so nice. Thank you. Lots going on online. Do head over to lizarwellbeing.com. Lots of links, lots of podcasts. If you want to listen to the Earle Wellbeing Show, you can find that on Spotify, on iTunes. Please, if you haven't already, do leave me a review. You can just click the little 5-star button. You can leave comments, all of that. Hopefully there's lots to entertain and engage this week. Even if there's no post, there's lots of stuff that we can download and listen to or read online and enjoy. Thank you very much for being with me. It's been a lovely, lovely, lovely chat. Lovely to see all the comments, all the positivity, all the love, sending lots of hearts back to everybody. I don't want to click off because there's just so many nice comments and I'm feeling the love. I hope you are too. Anyway, I'll be back with you live on Wednesday. So until then, stay well, stay safe, stay happy and calm. Lots of love. Bye.